YouNow, it's Mama Beth. Yeah, I'm getting ready to play with my KitchenAid. I don't know if you can see it, but over here on the side, I always get backwards on this camera. My husband got me 2 of the sets to go with my KitchenAid stand mixer, which if you are like me and you love your kitchen and you love doing things in it, you know that a KitchenAid stand mixer, shit, there goes the phone. Hang on. My husband is on the way to Rite Aid, and Rite Aid calls to tell me that my prescriptions are ready. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. By the way, if you're following along on the drinking game, every time I say shit, take a drink. Apparently that's my favorite word. But anyway, I was talking about, I got 2 new attachment sets for my KitchenAid stand mixer. And if you are a person who loves their kitchen and does a lot of stuff in the kitchen, you know that your KitchenAid stand mixer is like, it's just magnificent. I literally have taken it on vacation. When we go stay for a week at the beach, I can't be away from my mixer because I can do everything with it, with the attachments. So I get to play with those in a little bit and see what messes I can make. But anyway, you know, it's been a good Christmas for me. I got way more stuff than I ever expected. My husband always spoils me, and I try to spoil him too. And my daughter, she got some good stuff, and I got to spend time with her. And you know, she's my heart, you know, my baby. And then my granny was sick, but you know, we'll be going back over there. I got to check on her, but you know, it was just so good to spend time with family and friends, and you know, do the things that we traditionally do every year. But I honestly think that this year I learned more lessons than I've learned in a long time. You know, I try to find lessons in every problem and everything that goes on. When you go through something in your life, like a sickness or a tragedy or anything, if you take it and look at it as a lesson and you learn from it, then it hasn't been for nothing. You haven't wasted your time. You haven't been tortured unnecessarily. And I have a theory, and you know, I was talking to my husband about this because I've been developing this over years. You know, I had a near-death experience in the hospital, and I'll make a video about that by itself because it deserves a video. It was very interesting. But I think that we learn from everything we go through, and as we go through life, you know, our teens are really hard because we're learning hard lessons. Our 20s, you know, the lessons get more intense, but if we learn from them, we become better people. And that's the whole, I think that's what the point of life is that everything that happens to us, if we learn and grow from it and we become better people, if we become people who are generous and kind and filled with peace, then by the time we're old and we're ready to pass on, we can pass peacefully. You know, that's what we're here for, is to learn the lessons, to go through the struggles, to learn the lessons, and hopefully pass them on. You know, like, I always say that if I could give my daughter all of the lessons that I had to learn the hard way and just put it in her head so she didn't have to suffer, I would do it in a heartbeat. If she could know the things that I had to go through and struggle, you know, she would have a perfect life, but I can't do that. She has to learn on her own. You know, each of us does. But with social media being as prevalent as it is in our lives, we have the ability to learn from others, and because we experience things with them. And you know, my friend Peter has been through the ringer. But while he's learned lessons, so have we. And a lot of people have said, I could not have handled it as well as Peter did. Well, no, a lot of us would have handled it differently. But it's showing that he has been through things and he has grown and he's learned the lessons that he's able to handle this as well as he has. I want to look at some of his stuff, and I'm not going to play his videos, but I'm going to talk about how he has progressed through this. Okay, if for some reason you've been under a rock for a week and a half or just been real busy with family stuff and you don't know what's going on, let me give you a quick synopsis. John Cookian is a jerk. A year ago he attacked Peter and had everybody bullying him. Then he kind of laid off of it. And then just before Christmas, like 2 days before Christmas Eve, I think it was, he comes out with this video calling Peter a pedophile, you know, said that he had, first he said he had child porn on his Tumblr or whatever. I've read Peter's Tumblr, it's nothing like that. I saw it before it was taken down, I'd seen everything. And, you know, Peter, the accusations were incredibly insane, but they were hurtful. And Peter reacted as many of us would. Horror, disbelief, and outrage. And his first video is John Cookian's video, My Response. And he's furious. He's losing his shit completely. By the way, take a drink every time I say shit. All right, then he goes from disbelief, like, I can't believe this is happening to me, like, just horrified, as any of us would be if we were accused of something like that. Then he got mad and angry, and he was furious, and he was like, you know, ready to rip heads off and, you know, to just do damage. And then his video after that, when he was feeling that, was John Cookian will not stop ever. And he was saying that, you know, John has not quit, not let up on Peter for a year. And it's time that he takes steps to stop him. That, you know, enough is enough. He's not putting up with the bullshit. There you go again. Then he started getting really sad and the hurt came out. And that's what happens when somebody does something that's cruel and vicious to us. We're horrified and shocked at first. Then we get angry. And then we're like, what did I do to deserve this? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you picking at me? Why me? Why am I being bullied? And that's when his video was, Dear John Cookian and Rich Lux, it's not okay. And that'll break your heart. Honest to God, I've cried more over this than I have pretty much anything that's happened in my life. At least recently. And then, because Peter is wise, and I say that with full cognizance of what wise means is when you attribute it to a person. He is wise, and he's smart, and he's kind. And he starts to look at it in a different way. He starts to touch on the things that he uses for support. He talks about his, you know, the quotes that he does, like Oprah uses Maya Angelou's writings and teachings, and she brings it through in her show. And he said he started doing that, and it was his friend, his best friend Tanya, said, what do you do when bad things happen in real life? And he told her, and she said, do those things now. And he actually, in his video, he says, I can't hold this hate in my heart. It'll hurt me every day if I do. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to forgive. Now let's talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the other person. His forgiveness, you know, was not necessarily saying, okay, it's all right, John, you do whatever you want, I'm going to let it go. No. Okay, one of the things that I will tell anybody that comes to me, you forgive for yourself. Okay, you forgive so you have peace in your heart. There are people who have done me very wrong in life, you know, just like anybody. I mean, I'm no different than anybody else. You forgive so you can breathe, so your heart's at ease. So you can say, this is not in my life and causing me pain anymore. You don't forget because, you know, once bitten, twice shy. You forgive for yourself. And so you can move on, and that doesn't, it's not a constant stabbing in your heart. It's like putting, it's like getting stitches. You know, you get stitches and you let it heal, but that's your healing. But you don't forget what it was that cut you. You don't go playing with the knives the same way, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Peter, taught us that, you know, he's a bigger man. He can forgive. And he does. Now, does this mean that he's not going to take legal action? I certainly hope the hell not. I hope that he rips him a new one. He rips John a new one, legally. Because what John did was legally wrong. It was an illegal action. And he needs to be punished. He needs to be made an example of. Because there are too many people on the internet who are bullying others and being cruel and unkind. And, you know, harassment is a serious thing. If you harass someone in real life, you go to jail. If you harass someone online, you should get the same thing. And you'll find even in my Bitchin in the Kitchens, I wish everybody well by the end. I may not like what you do, but I don't want you to suffer, and I'm not going to be a bully. And I try real hard not to be. You know, that's not what I do. But Peter had the I'm triggered. And that was 3 days ago, and he was reacting, I believe, in that one to all of the Poor Pitiful Me videos that were coming out from people who had participated in Rich Luck's video. They've commented, "Oh, poor Rich, we know you didn't do anything." When we all know that he's in there with all of them. He's a co-conspirator, as I say. You know, if you drive your friend to the bank and he robs the bank, you're an accessory to the crime. You know, he and Karina knew what was going on before it happened. Karina let it slip. You know, so Rich may be having issues and be anxiety ridden and all that. But you know what? If you poke the bear, it bites. And they poked the internet, and it bites hard. And you know, you may feel sorry for him, but sometimes consequences need to come after actions. But, you know, Peter was talking about it, and he wasn't talking about it in a mean way. But then he says, how do I move on? And that's about, my husband's going in, that's about forgiving. That's about what he plans to do with his life and how he's going to, you know, still continue with a lawsuit, but he is going to live his life as he intends. He's going to live in a purposeful life, an intentional life, an on-purpose life, okay? And that's what I want everyone to take from this, as lessons from Peter that we can all learn. We don't have to be harassed and bullied on the internet to learn from someone who has been that it's wrong and that it hurts and how to move forward. So I hope if you've been a victim of bullying, I hope that if someone has hurt you, someone who's done you wrong in this past year or maybe for years before, I hope that you will watch Peter's videos and see how he progresses through this and the lessons that he teaches, because he makes everything teachable. And that's one of the things that I love about Peter, is that, you know, there's a lesson in every video. Marlet, come here. And I hope that you find peace, and I hope you find forgiveness. Find a wiener dog or two. Come by the house, I'll give you one. But I wish you love, peace, happiness. I love you. You love you. My husband's home. I'll see you soon. Bye.